afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Featuring today of 1 vs 1 on Langres. Yes, indeed, Langres. Again, we shall be watching Piwavsky fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 92nd Infantry Division with a barrack start. Opposing him shall be MV Niksa, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the elite Panzer Lehr division. With a standard start from both players, so there's 2 engineers, 2 pioneers, barracks going up here, so round also indicating that Piwavsky intends to focus here initially at the very least. Wehrmacht quarters, of course, also closer to the edge of the base, ensuring troops can get out a bit faster. Going for right this here point, so not quite, the usual camping order, which again would sort of be, you're heading out down here, you only have the first unit out from the Wehrmacht quarter securing here, but since Niksa, of course, is going for the MG42, having the pioneers down there, of course, is a valid move. Just not the usual sort of move you'd expect. Going for the strategic point there, and there we go, rifleman scored out. And we are seeing the bike following up on this, so this is definitely going to be one of the rarer starts, also one of the starts you only usually see in the hands of higher ranked players. Curse the hiccups. But, again, this is rather partly intent on the fact that you're not going to get rushed right away, or at least you're hoping to, and then of course you use the bike to sort of lead the way for the MG, ensure that it won't get surprised any time soon, and can quickly that way gain some sort of firepower and decent mobility. Although, it's not going to fully replace infantry, but it can be used to really get the drop on your opponent in some cases. And there we go, the back follow up, the Kartschütze. And there we go, rifle immediately coming under fire. There we go, we see the MG bike pulling up, adding more MG fire. And there we go, the rifle already losing one man there. Piwavsky's advance is getting hampered a bit there. Pinned, in fact, before they are able to take the strategic point and connect the fuel. Absolutely highly aggressive and devious play right there by Niksa. And there we go, the bike following up, going straight after the engineers, firing away. At the same time, another rifleman squad out for Piwavsky. Follow-up unit for Niksa is going to be a rifleman squad. We're seeing the engineers charging straight at the bike. We're seeing pioneers up north, which could assist the bike. MG making a run for the house, going to take a dominating position up in the nearby territory. Engineers here continue to take damage from the bike. MG set up now, and there we go, the MG opens up. The engineers could go down. Piwavsky's engineers are certainly getting a peppering. They will not forget. Oh, well, they will technically, because they're dead. The Yankees are grabbing our territory. And again, making a move for the strategic point, but again, needs to be careful they do not come on within range of the MG42 inside the house. And there we go. Heavy German fire unleashes lead and death upon the Americans, quickly murdering and slightly wounding them. At the same time, going there for the cut-off point, at least one of the two. Generally you will need to cut off both two if the opponent has them, which of course Niksa has done so. Going for the central victory point. Interesting enough, Piwavsky's not bothered with his victory point over there. He's in fact also currently securing over there, getting more riflemen. That is good. He will need the medic stations or trio centers soon to keep his troops going. Going for the cut-off point there again. Mines going up there. Good job there from Niksa. Volksgrenadiers squad number 2 out for Niksa. MG setting up there. Bike spotting a flanking attack. Riflemen here losing to the Volksgrenadiers. The riflemen here, in this case for Piwavsky, were already in poor condition. They had not received healing, and so the Volksgrenadiers could actually win the fight, particularly now that the bike has arrived. Quite nicely done. We do see him going for the strategic point over there, but he is stopped by another Volksgrenadier squad. We are probably going to see the bike moving and flank the rifleman, thus doing more damage to the bastard. No, apparently Niksa does not take the opportunity here to sort of surround the riflemen and deal with them with a minimum amount of forces. Bit of a shame. Come on, Volksgrenadiers, add in some pressure, now. At the same time, riflemen over here getting some pressure. They might be able to disconnect this. Yes, they are able to render the point neutral. And in the end, they're forced away. Piwavsky preparing for another assault up here. bike quickly rushing away. We now do see the rifle moving up here towards encountering the Volksgrenadiers. Already though the rifle are low health, but they will be able to get close to the Volksgrenadiers. Second squad of Volksgrenadiers though moving up to assist the first one. And we do see Piwavsky going for the full push up center. The MG though is back in the house. Can at least stop one of the rifleman squad. Volksgrenadiers up here doing alright, but the riflemen themselves are now going down very quickly as the Volksgrenadiers pressure increases. Although they are themselves taking some losses. Rifleman squad up here going for the cut-off point. They are getting suppressed though. Rifleman squad here going for the fuel point. It's enough not trying to push for the house and get the MG out of there. Rifleman squad here ultimately pushed away. And another MG42 on the way for Niksa. And now with that Rifleman squad gone, the MG42 can turn its attention to the last one remaining. And so it didn't quite work out for Piwavsky as he might have hoped for. Volksgrenadiers coming on finally going for the strategic point there. I mean, Piwavsky already has most of the map. In fact, he's going to be able to take the fuel point right next to the German base. Oh, the cheek. And there we go, connecting the fuel point right. The rifleman continue to take down. That bike now has scored 4 kills. Bloody well impressive. Rifleman here holding up behind the heavy cover, trying to tie up as many German forces as possible, while again making a push for the right side. And the MG42 still occupy the rifleman there. This could actually be the moment for Piwavsky. Unless, of course, the other MG42 arrives in time. But no! It's been dealing with engineers up here. This could mean this position here could finally crumble. And Piwavsky could finally force the crouch off the field. But no, it does not look like he has any grenades. At least not right away. And looks like he's not researching them. And oh dear, he's going to hit the mine right there. But looks like this sergeant's mine spotting abilities, or at least, you know, sixth sense when it comes to mine, has saved them. They're just next to it, and they're not moving. NG, oh dear, good look. Piwavsky's going to lose a rifleman squad. Oh dear, went down in the shrubbery, becoming lawn ornaments in some future Frenchman's garden. And there we go, after retreating, MG down. Mine not set off. That was quite fortunate, but Piwavsky's losses have been quite serious. Losing an entire rifleman squad this early is not necessarily very good. And the bike continues to rake up the kills. 7 kills, my god. Clearly an experienced Krautschütze we are dealing with here. And in fact, the Germans used to, in fact, have entire battalions equipped with bike reconnaissance troops. And that was actually the reconnaissance units. Although, I mean, the funny thing was that the bike units would also have a small company of, you know, light infantry half-tracks. I mean, yes, they even had them back then. So that was always the sort of fun thing when you read about it. The motorcycle battalions are self-put Schützen Panzerwagen, and they're like, right. But still, of course, as the war progressed, I mean, they became less and less abundant, largely because the Germans realized they perhaps weren't that much worth it. For different reasons, including they tend to actually make a lot of noise, I believe was one reason. Rifleman pushing up here. Piwavsky making ready for another large assault, going to cut the wire there. Pioneers here coming under vicious American fire. Pushing up for the assault here, having already got a replacement squad. And already here, I mean, Piwavsky is getting himself a Grenadier squad, Kampfkraft Center. He's, of course, worried about any armored cars, but so far, Piwavsky is not making a move towards that. He is still holding most of the map. Second MG42, though, up here, stopping one prong of the assault, and quite the serious prong, in fact. Right here coming under heavy fire. Engineers dying. And the bike just continues to be an absolute nuisance, a bastard. Mine went off there, killing a Volksgrenadier, wounding the rest. Grenadiers going to move into the field. Rifleman here getting suppressed. This squad needs to move up. If only Piwavsky had grenades, he might have been able to push through the Germans. And there we go, Grenadiers moving up. The best the Panzer Lehr has to offer, at least for the time being. Engineers now coming under fire. They are themselves already low in health, and they are quick to retreat, losing a poor bastard in the process. Riflemen are pinned down. The riflemen actually going close up for the MG. Grenadiers are going to move in. And Piwavsky is very much determined to get that MG in there. He might get it, but now the Grenadiers are on the spot, and there we go. The MG quickly soars through another man. Piwavsky's assault did not work, and he's still not bothered with this victory point. I mean, quite interesting, and certainly Niksa hasn't either with this one or this one. So both players at the for the time being are not really bothering with the victory points at all. But at the same time, I mean, Piwavsky must have secured himself a lot of fuel. Now he's getting a weapon support center. We're seeing a pack on the way from Niksa. He is worrying about anything that might appear, and then he cancels it. He's getting himself a half-track now. He's a bit unsure, perhaps, on what Piwavsky is doing. He's trying to guess it. And of course, I mean, with this sort of silence, the usual guess would be, well, likely he's, going for some armor vehicles, but of course Piwavsky isn't, and perhaps the bike actually saw something down there. Who knows? Who knows? I actually didn't notice that, but that could be very much possible. I mean, there's nothing here, so Niksa could very much well have driven up there and checked the base and spotted this, which in fact would explain why the Wehrmacht quad is flashing up. He's getting a sniper himself. And of course, in that sense, having a bike or any sort of jeep or reconnaissance vehicle can always pay off if you can just sort of get a quick sneak into your opponent's base. Rather than advancing up, they're fighting against the Grenadiers now. Veterans who won. Pioneers getting pushed away. Engineers moving forward. Might be heading straight into a mine. Another mine goes off there. Oh dear, and MG catches the engineers out in the open. 8 killed for the bike.
Enemy unit down.
Pioneer squad did go down to the rifleman, and we're seeing infantry traction up for Piwavsky. Just note all the fuel for Piwavsky. I mean, he could easily go for a tank depot if that was what he wanted. Artillery going down on the Grenadiers, not the MG in the house. Why on earth would Piwavsky do that? The MG in the house is definitely the greater problem. That's pretty much the linchpin of Niksa's defense. Without that, I mean, the entire front line would very much quickly collapse for Niksa and the Panzer Lehr. So why on earth is a bit unclear to me as to why he didn't call the artillery on that. Seems quite frankly weird. But there we go, the engineers is retreating now that... No, the MG is retreating now, the engineers are moving out. Fox is advancing, right here, taking heavy damage, and we're seeing artillery getting called in here. And there's a sniper nearby. Will Niksa be able to get out in time? Oh my goodness! That was the luckiest sniper ever. That artillery strike went off right in front of his nose, and all he got was a slight sunburn. Volkswagen and Bike Grenadiers fighting against their BARs now up for Piwavsky, clearly indicating, of course, now for Niksa what's going on. Though, of course, again, now he's quickly moving on to the Sturm Armory. And we are also seeing a sniper coming out for Piwavsky. Volkswagen here not going to win against these riflemen in heavy cover with BARs, in particular since the Volkswagen are in light cover and only veterans who won. Flamethrower is doing what they can against the bike. The bike, though, continues to kill. The bike with 9 kills. The terror of 1 million Americans. The bike. The cause of President Roosevelt's nightmares. The bike. The perfect vehicle of German engineering. Dun dun dun. Although, I mean, the Germans also used quite a few other bikes. In fact, they used French bikes, well, Russian bikes, whatever sort of bikes they could to sort of equip all of their troops. In particular, doing the whole Russian campaign on the Eastern Front, there was a lot of, diversity in equipment, which also cost them quite a few infrastructure problems. Since some divisions might have largely, for example, French vehicles, French trucks, French bikes for all the units, while the rest of the equipment, of course, was German. We are seeing riflemen push up here on the right side, going to engage the Volkswagen is right there. Sniper moving up. And looks like a unit went down somewhere. Over the rainbow, or likely not. Bike advances right there. Fox is coming out to find the bike is taking heavy damage. 4/6 Niksa, 4/6. You don't want to lose the bike. And we do see an armored car out for Niksa. We're seeing the rifle here getting stopped by the MG42. Nicer position there to protect the western flank. Bike taking heavy damage. Fox is behind now. There's only Grenadier squad and a sniper. And now we do see the armored car rushing in to try and save the heroic bike. Will Niksa be able to save the bike? Rifleman down. American sniper nowhere to be seen. Bike so close. No, it stops up. It stops up. No. 9. And the bike veers out of control and crashes into a very, very small tree. Oh, the inhumanity. The armored car, though, ultimately saves the entire right flank with its auto cannon. And the riflemen here are finally forced to yield in front of this MG42 with 17 kills. Definitely doing its job today. Likely more on the way from the Sturm Armory. Supply out finally going up for Piwavsky. About bloody time. And there we go, the supply out is up. Pioneers, full Grenadiers advancing.
I have everything but a target. Ready for the crowd. Territory sector being captured.
Securing the strategic point there. A bit of quiet. MG42 setting up there. Nice position. Not quite at the front lines, but not too far removed either. So basically the enemy won't be able to quite know where it is and will eventually run into it once the first line of defense has been breached. At least that's the theory. And of course, the question is if that is the theory that Niksa is following. Motor pool going up. I mean, he's got the resources to actually go for a tank depot, so why he's going for a motor pool seems a bit odd to me. There we go. Second Schwerer Panzerspeedwagen going out for Niksa. And the Riflemen advancing straight into the MG42, the one with the 17 kills and the Volksgrenadier squad. And there we go, another Rifleman bites dust. Riflemen advancing up there, coming under fire from the MG42. Advancing up there, coming under fire from Armored Car and Volksgrenadier squad. And we finally on the right side, we do see a Grenadier squad with a Panzergrenadier. Artillery is getting called in. Right here on the MG and the Volksgrenadier squad over on the far west. The MG actually bites dust. Volksgrenadiers lose their lives as they try to run in sheer panic. Armored Car doing what I can to hold up the front line. Riflemen here taking a heavy beating. They narrowly avoid a mine. At the same time, they push up the center. Volksgrenadier squad taking heavy losses. MG42 opens up. Veterans into for Piwavsky's Rifleman, but the Armored Car opens up. Panzergrenadiers opening up on the Rifleman. Rifleman caught out in the open, taking punishing casualties. And there we go. Light armored car on the way.
Taking fire! Is that armored car? We're losing ground out
for Piwavsky, the Greyhound.
Regiment has heavy infantry reserves.
And Rangers are now available for Piwavsky. And the 92nd, there we go. Armored skirts on in the way. Sniper sniping away. Getting a Grenadier right there. All mine went off, destroying the engine of the armored car. Grenadiers might want to be steered clear off. Will Piwavsky be able to pounce upon this armored car, knock it out? I mean, currently there's nothing to actually protect it. So the question is, of course, will Piwavsky be aware of this and, of course, seize upon it? Because he could actually do quite a bit of damage there against Niksa at that very moment. Although now Pioneers repair and they quickly extinguish the fire in the engine, at least make it operable. Rifleman here fighting against the recruit MG. Rifleman doing their best to assault it. One flank catches the attention, but no! And here's a slight trick when you actually want to switch targets. You wait until they have fired. Not while they are fired. Then you switch your target. Then they'll switch it without having to pack up and pack down again. Slight little tip there. But we do see a push going on there as well. How shall Niksa respond to this? MG finally gets overwhelmed and run off. Greyhound advances against the armored cars, and there we go. Opens up, gets a nice hit. Rifleman coming under inspection from the end game. We do see a pack out now for Niksa. Having not used it much for 4 years, of course, now getting full advantage out of it with the pack, trying to hold down the armored cars. And we at the same time, we do see the Puma upgrade up for Niksa. Firing away with the 50mm cannon, although missing the first shot. Needs to be a bit careful, of course. He does not get too keen. So far, though, he pretty much fails hitting it completely. First grenadier down.
We're losing them as fast as we're getting them. Engineers get the piss pounded out of us.
And cutting off Piwavsky's fuel right there. Mine going down. Lovely. Armor car's pulling up, they're opening up, and then yes, and Sniper gets a kill as well.
By the enemy. We're ready.
This one needs a bit of repairs. Sniper fire continues.
Composition
And so does Piwavsky's advance. There we go. Puma gets off a nice hit on the Greyhound. Also note, best one for the armored cars getting repaired. Pack also moving up. Definitely going to be a surprise there for Piwavsky. And there you go, the pack opens up. Barely any health left on the armored car. Main gun destroyed, but it makes it out of there. Armored car advances out perhaps a bit too eagerly. Puma gets a kill. And the riflemen are quick to run off. Lighter skirmishing going on here. Fultz bringing in veterans 2 for Niksa's infantry. Let's go look at Niksa again. Who's got quite a bit of munitions. He's going right hand side. Terror. That could be used quite nicely. In many ways.
The Yankees are grabbing our territory.
You do see the armor car moving in there. In fact, he could try and call in a firestorm about here. And particularly now the rifleman moving up. Careful. Careful, Niksa. 4-6. Oh no. Sticky bomb on it. Destroyed engine. Barely sliver health left. And it goes down. Panzergrenadiers hits, but no real luck in destroying. Riflemen up here, though, are not doing too well either. Could they go down for Piwavsky? But that was definitely not the best handling of a Puma, I would argue. There we go, though. The Greyhound finally bites it, and Niksa's floating quite a lot of manpower. More than what I would say is healthy. It looks like the Rifleman right there will escape the jaws of the Wehrmacht. Rifleman up here taking heavy losses. Another armor car remaining, of course, the MG-42. Sniper continues to cause casualties to the Germans. 8 kills and veterans 1 for the American one. Rifleman here getting shot at, and there we go. A sticky bomb on the second armored car. Damaged engine. And we do see an anti-tanker now up for Piwavsky. Definitely going to cause some headaches. We're seeing a Grenadier Squad number 2 on the way for Niksa and the Panzer Lehr. Nothing on the way from the Sturmarmy. He could consider Needlewerfer, he could consider Stugo, he could consider just going straight for the battle phase and get a Panzer Command up. MG here, though, getting sniped, going to get pushed away. Rifleman advancing up the right hand side, folks, because he quickly rush for cover. At the same time, making a slight advance up here under the cover, under the aegis of another MG-42. Quite a bit of munitions being floated by Niksa. Rifleman here coming under fire now from not just 1 but 2 squads of German infantry. Although perhaps should not go straight for the munitions, but focus on killing the infantry first, Niksa. Just a suggestion. Fighting going on here. The MG-42 not quite within range, but the Fuskins quickly veer back, and there we go. Both riflemen squads immediately come under heavy suppressive fire from the MG-42 on tripod. Grenadiers advancing up through the center. There's nothing to cover. Sniper opens up, gets one of the anti-tank gun crew members. That could definitely be the loss of that one. And looks like propaganda war is now also in effect for Niksa. Although why did they go for inspired assault and, the firestorm if he's not going to use it? Just seems a bit odd, if anything. And still floating up resources here. And 2 snipers now for Piwavsky, hoping to really drain the German infantry now. Armor cap here on the far left. Anti-tank in the center. I mean, he could easily get some Needlewerfers. At least calling a firestorm. I think that could really cause Piwavsky some problems. So again, tech up. He just needs to stop floating resources. Anti-tank gun firing away. Armor car blasting away there. And the rifleman trying to advance there to protect the fuel point. Armor car needs to be careful, and a unit is lost for Piwavsky. Looks like might have been a pioneer. but securing the resources right there, denying them to Piwavsky and the 92nd Infantry. Supplied upgrade number 1 up. No medic stations. Looks like more on the way from the barracks. Possibly a rifleman squad or possibly some grenades. Niksa is though actually quite spread out. He's got some MGs and such here and a bit here, but you know, ultimately no greater focus. Finally getting something more. We are seeing the Sturm Army getting an armoured car. We finally also see an upgrade from the Panzer Command, the Reich headquarters, to get a Panzer Command, of course. Ultimately, Propaganda War quickly forces away one part of the assault again.
Americans are capturing a sector.
2 snipers moving out. Only 1 sniper from Niksa, so that's definitely going to be a bit tricky to get off a proper kill right there. Not sure what... the anti-tank is actually clearing away the Bukash there, clearing up the fields of fire. Riflemen getting a bit too close, they're getting suppressed and getting hammered by the armoured car. Fighting going on here. Riflemen are quickly pushing away the Volksgrenadiers. Snipers opening up there, getting 2 Volksgrenadiers. And we do see Niksa's infantry pushing up. No additional Panzer Strike or MG for the other Grenadier squad. Might be an idea. Riflemen engineers pushing forward again. Sniper moving up. Armoured car could also consider it. Grenadiers here though are getting absolutely scorched, burned and singed. And hitting a mine in the process. The other squad's also taking heavy losses. He's really intent on getting something here. Sniper moving up. And there we go. Grenadiers need to retreat. Oh, he lost the Grenadier squad. That was... not really good for Niksa. A bit of a waste, I would say. He could lose another Grenadier squad. No, makes it out of there barely. But that was a very odd move from Niksa. And no attempt at a firestorm right here, which could have, you know, capped the snipers as they retreated. Armored car, though, cleared out. But a sticky bomb managed to go onto the armored car. Could, in fact, disable it right in front. Damaged engine, close to. If the anti-tank can quickly turn about and hit it, that could definitely be a huge blow to Niksa alongside that Grenadier squad, which again is a considerable one. Armored car, the remaining here on the far west flank, though, as flank protection, which is definitely also one way of doing it. I mean, it's something that can easily rout an infantry squad or 2 on the, on the flanks, and can also quickly be moved over to, for example, take part in a larger effort. So in a sense, I mean, it's a good move to have an armored car like that there, rather than necessarily in the thick of it. First, because they're securing the fuel there, and there we go, replacement Grenadiers, and getting some Pioneers to set up that Panzer Command. And there we go, snipers opening up. MG setting up here, a bit more forward. Might want to actually set it up there so we can protect a larger amount of territory. And there we go, rifle moving up. The MG's arc of fire, though, just briefly does come out. No, the other rifle could actually overcome the armored car. Since the MG covered, it could not protect the path of retreat. This is looking a bit grim for Niksa. The armored car is suddenly prey. The Volksgrenadiers are moving in to reinforce. Propaganda War forces away 1 rifleman squad. Very expensive, I would say, right there by Niksa. Very expensive indeed. The riflemen are doing what they can. And there we go, another sticky bomb on the armored car. I think they will need another one to actually finish off the job. And there we go, the armored car is immobilized. Riflemen are beginning to take losses, and we're seeing more Grenadiers simply rushing in, and he's actually calling in an artillery strike to finish it off. I mean, talk about destruction by any means necessary. Piwavsky definitely did not want that armored car back on the field. Although I suppose 150 munitions for that is perhaps a bit excessive, but that is his call to make, not mine. Though I will point out it's a bit weird.
Sieg, sniper ready.
Laying down mines. Good. Good mine here. In fact, lots of mines from both players. That is very good to see. Always something to remember. Grenadiers advancing down south to secure the victory point there. Drain further away from Piwavsky. Going for the munitions up there. Dun dun dun. A bit of quiet though as the Germans moving forward. The Panzer Command going up. Off map, combat group providing 2 armored cars, rifleman squad and an anti-tank gun. The armoured cars, of course, could quickly be shifted over here to cover the west flank, since there's going to be only one Panzer and perhaps some Panzerfaust to hold them back. So, in that sense, currently, it's not that much out of place. But as soon as the Panzers begin arriving, it's going to be considerably less impressive.
Yes, they have a point.
But it needs to happen now, and we do see a grenade up against the Grenadier escorts. Why are the armoured cars not reacting to this? I mean, this is a golden opportunity for Piwavsky to unleash the Greyhounds, to send in the wolf pack against the Hun. And there we go. I hope, anyways. Rather than marching out against the German infantry, ensconced by the munitions. And there we go, the armoured cars far away, forcing a full retreat right there. Fighting on the far right flank.
We are losing territory.
And it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Counter-attrition. Piwavsky is a bit under pressure, but at the same time, of course, he now has automatic combat groups. He's also got quite a sizable force. He's got 2 snipers. Of course, the 2 Greyhounds, if used properly, could also really undermine things for Niksa if Piwavsky used them to strike on the far flanks, perhaps even harass the German base. He should definitely not be trying to push them up through the centre. Panzer Command by the one up for Niksa, and we are seeing a Panzer IV. Good move, considering there's not really a lot of armour at the moment. But I mean, for Piwavsky, he needs to, retake this. He also needs to push up on the flanks. I don't think he should try following, a one-blow engagement against Niksa. He should try and focus on his flanks, on harassment initially. Then he should probably try and singling out some of the panzers as they arrive from Niksa. From Niksa, the question is, he basically needs to secure this area. He needs to push forwards, and he needs to keep up pressure. He needs, to focus. He needs to try to not get too distracted by Piwavsky's maneuvers. And he, of course, he's going to need to keep any panzers safe. And he's also going to need to decide, well, is he actually going to use this stuff again? Otherwise, focus fully on the left and ignore the right-hand side. And I also think you should get some LMGs for the Grenadiers. But there you go. Let us return to the front and let us return to have a look at Piwavsky. From here coming under fire from the armoured car. Slow advance up the centre, and there you go. The Greyhounds do move up on the far left. MG firing away right there. Will the Greyhounds pounce upon this target or another one entirely? Right, again, quite a few forces. 5 rifleman squads, 2 anti-tank guns, 2 armoured cars, 2 snipers, and a single engineer squad. Finally going off here and counting straight into the MG42. Armoured cars are going to move into the centre. No attempt, for example, clearing out the MG on the far. And there goes snipers opening up. Volksguns taking losses. Greyhounds pushing up, needs to be careful. Grenadiers moving out in force, actually. And there go the Greyhounds are switching back. And doubling back, in fact, to deal with this MG over there. Could actually do quite a bit of damage as it tries to retreat with the 50 calibers and the 13mm guns. And the rifleman definitely could also do a bit there. Panzer IV, though, is on the move. Niksa quickly shifting over to the left flank to contain the advances of the Americans. Panzerkampfwagen IV unleashes death. Rifleman dead. And the Greyhounds are quickly leaving. They have no intention on taking on that beast. Grenadiers are getting sniped, come on! Oh dear, Niksa being a bit too risky with the Grenadiers. Of course, he's trying to get them counter-sniped, but he might want to ensure that snipers can actually reach. Now the Grenadier squad getting sniped. Will Niksa get them this time around? Yes, counter-snipe! So small victory right there for Niksa. And now the Grenadier squad's up, down the sniper, anti-tank gun left. And that's going to get cleared out as well. So that is definitely going to be a bit painful, and looks like another Panzer IV out for Niksa. No veterancy as of yet. Anti-tank gun decrewed. Quite heroic. Pushing up on the right flank, doing alright there. Fraps sadly acting out a bit. Pioneers went down there to the flank. And swift response from the armoured car to the Grenadiers going for the cut-off point. Though we are already seeing Panzer IV action swiftly advancing with the higher velocity guns than initially. And there we go, getting a nice hit on the Greyhounds. Greyhounds firing away the 37mm guns, though paying off the frontal armour of the Panzerkampfwagen IV. Still no veterancy though from Niksa. The other Panzer IV holding up nicely here, waiting for support from the infantry, possibly, or just forgotten. And enjoying the break. Anti-tank gun slowly advancing. No anti... Oh, well, there's one, but it's held up with the armoured cars. And there we go, the Panzer IV stifling another assault from the infantry. Looks like, though, this time they are going straight for the Panzer IV. High close rounds, MG fire going straight into the Volkskriegs, doing what they can to hold back the onrush of American infantry. Volkskriegs hold up by an issue. And there we go, high close round clears out 2 rifles immediately. Other squad left behind to face the might of the Reich. Grenades going off. Volkskriegs getting killed. Veterans who want for the rifle. The Panzer IV rushes forward. And then we go, the rifle going down. And here's the thing. Grenades and sticky bombs rely on the same cooldown. So if you see a rifle squad, for example, lobbing a grenade, you're not going to have to worry about sticky bombs any in the near-term future. Same and vice versa. If you see a sticky bomb, don't worry about grenades right away. Grenades going in, and of course, as the rifle, of course, keep this in mind. You can't, count them first sticky bomb, then a grenade. Be sure you know what you want. But we are seeing Piwavsky pushing forward again, anti-tank guns, and again, note with the bocage away, they can provide decent coverage of a larger amount of territory and support each other in case, Piwavsky goes, or Niksa goes to one of the anti-tank guns, the other one will be able to keep the panzers off its back. Greyhounds advancing up the flank, again, good move there, you do not, or he does not want them on the flank, in the center, he wants them on the flanks, harassing armored cars and infantry there, but again, the left flank is largely a no-go zone, due to that Panzer IV, that Panzerkampfwagen 4. Veterans 2 now up for the supplier, ensuring that some manpower trickles in for Piwavsky. And of course, a fun thing is, a lot of people like to say, well, the Americans had a ton of supply, yes. But here's the thing about Normandy, they had a lot of trouble getting that supply from England to France. There were certain, shall we say, choke points, and one of those were the beaches. They were trying to relieve that, but part of the problem was the Germans kept blowing up the harbours. And they kept dropping mines from above, actually. They had some pretty clever sea mines, well, mines, actually, you would call that, to drop into the harbours, which also, in fact, caused some minor losses, but still, some disruption. Panzer IV now veterans 2, and we're seeing a propaganda war. Before the sticky bomb pops, the Panzer IV forces away the riflemen. These Panzer IVs are definitely going to be a much greater threat, with the machine guns additionally added, and of course, now the high explosive. Oh, we see a Volkskriegs squad, I think, went down. Oh dear, poor Heinz. Eine gutes Feldwebel, aber auch ein Tod. And he is getting stopped here by the MG42 sniper here, playing a dangerous game. Panzer IV continuing to hold up. Again, an MG, I think, for the Grenadiers would benefit a bit against least veterans who one rifle. And the problem is, partly with the MG for the Grenadiers, is as the rifle get veterans, it becomes considerably less useful.
Sniper, ready for battle. What are my coordinates? What are my coordinates?
Grenadiers going to advance it, getting shot by the sniper. Rifle advancing out, and we're going to see another sniper out for Piwavsky again.
Forces are taking casualties.
And we do see a King Tiger arriving. And now the King Tiger Unleashed threatens Piwavsky's front line, and in fact, his entire effort. Quick rush towards the anti-tank gun, but already the men sent to recruit the anti-tank gun are getting blown away. And then we go recruit, but the anti-tank gun is in a slightly less than heroic state, and the rifleman squad actually went down in the process. The casualties too exhausting. Panzer IV fighting against an anti-tank on the right flank, getting actually pushed away. And already the King Tiger has scored 5 kills within minutes and seconds. And a Panzer IV moving up on the western flank could go for the anti-tank gun and sort it out that way. No, going straight for the base. I wonder, what is Niksa actually intending? Misses though. He might actually want to consider getting veterans for them. He's already not. No. No such thoughts. Could certainly help a bit against the sticky bombs. And there we go, quickly pulling them back, but not without causing a bit of damage and trauma to the American riflemen. But things are definitely heating up under Piwavsky. German armor now threatens his very livelihood. Well, not necessarily, but... And Flaps continues to act up a bit. But ultimately, after I got those 8 gigabytes, it's not been quite as bad overall. So I think I'll overall call an improvement. But we are going to push up from Piwavsky straight into the path of the King Tiger. Not usually what you'd call the best of stratagems. Alright lads, we're going to attack that heavy armoured tank from the front. Sir, that's brilliant! Yes, I should be made president after this. We are going to push up, and we are seeing veterans free up for the Panzers, giving them protection against sticky bombs and bazookas and whatever, though there's not really any bazookas from Piwavsky, so not really a threat. Right here, though, taking a beating, finally they're retreating the front of the Panzer IV. Right over here, not doing too well either. Bogged down. In fact, Piwavsky loses another squad of riflemen. Piwavsky's infantry is quickly dying out. And there we go, going up against the other Panzer IV. The Panzer IV, though, struggles bravely, partly due to the armoured side skirts, who were in fact not initially made to deal with bazookas and such, but actually made to deal with anti-tank rifles. Later on, when they basically figured, well, there's no more anti-tank rifles and such to worry about, they basically with basically wire mesh, since that was also a bit cheaper to make and basically had the same effect of basically detonating the bazooka or whatever before it actually impacted on the armor itself, thus greatly minimizing the effect of the weapon. More anti-tank guns on the way for Piwavsky. Niksa und die Panzer Lehr holds this line, and Heinz? Why is that pack pointing towards our own base? Ich weiß nicht. Maybe it's all this schnapps I've been having, but I think this is a real good idea.
We're ready to move in, just give the order. Looks like we fight today. 57 crew, ready.
Well, that pack's definitely not going to be helping. And again, straight at the King Tiger, though we are now seeing anti-tank guns moving up. Looks like Piwavsky is going to make the move for the throat of Niksa. And let's go look at Niksa. And there we go, anti-tank gun runs bellow out into the night at the King Tiger. Volk's advancing up on the right flank, already taking a loss, but not really a lot to stop them, in fact. And there we go, Niksa's attempt at clearing out the anti-tanks. We're seeing a Panzer IV follow-up. We, in fact, could be seeing a full assault from Niksa. And there we go, one anti-tank gun close to getting cleared out. And this, in fact, does happen, but the Volk's are forced off. And the advance continues. Piwavsky launches another assault, but once more the Panzer IVs and overall the Panzers from the Panzer Lehr proved to be quite the threat. The Panzer IV, though, largely surviving, getting out of there safely. Anti-tank being set up here, and we do see the Panzer IVs actually being pulled back for repairs, quite urgently needed. Troops holding up nicely in Piwavsky's base, but he is beginning to run out of steam. He's going to need something if he wants to avoid Niksa taking the momentum and the initiative and basically forcing away Piwavsky, because in particular currently Piwavsky's forces are quite scattered. One secure blow here and there could very much destroy Piwavsky as his anti-tankers, for example, quite in spread. I know we're seeing artillery going in against the MG and the Grenadiers, and Niksa's a bit too slow, but the luck of the fatherland saves him and guides his Grenadiers and MG-42 out of there safely. Armored cars, though, have both been wrecked in a series of not-so-fortunate engagements. Repairing the anti-tank guns, good move. So many players actually forget to repair their anti-tank guns, and thus they actually end up quickly losing them in the next engagement. So very nice. Very nice to see, very nice to see. I'm advancing, though, under steady fire, and we finally actually see a firestorm getting called in straight on the anti-tank gun crew as it's repaired. And I don't think Piwavsky has noticed then, yes, realised, too late. Mine goes off, almost killing an engineer. Right, snipers are heavily damaged. Will the German sniper fire away? He makes a shot and he misses Volk's advance, but they hit a mine. Both anti-tank guns are still there, but it's pretty close to they're not. The advance continues up here. It looks like the Panzer IV is slowly advancing, perhaps not entirely sure what's waiting it. And we do see Niksa quickly going for the 2 resource point on the right side, going for the center as well, as points are quickly draining down, in fact, for Piwavsky. Down to 100, the Panzer IV doing what it can, but the threat of the anti-tank gun is definitely quite considerable. But Piwavsky's forces are quite scattered at the moment. He's got, by the looks of it, 2 squads of riflemen left, an anti-tank and some snipers and some engineers. He is in a very deep pit. He's desperately trying to get it up, but every time he grasps the edge, a jackboot goes down and crashes his fingers. Flamethrowers opening up with the Panzergrenadiers, burning the Krauts, cooking them even. But the Panzergrenadiers largely seem undaunted despite several of their men basically bursting into flames. Pushing up the centre and again under fire from the tanks. Piwavsky's forces are not really... I don't think any man is suited for being subjected to high explosive rounds from a Panzer. Sniper though gets a Pioneer. Will the snipers prove to be Piwavsky's salvation somehow? Panzer IV forced away, and we are seeing another Panzer IV rolling out for Niksa. More on the way from the motor pool, likely going to be another anti-tank, and no attempt at the off-map combat groups. Piwavsky feels he shall not find his victories there. Moving up there quickly though, again, is going to risk running into that MG42. Watching this like a mighty sentinel, and there we go. Pressing the Rifleman Grenadiers, opening up. Panzer IV moving up. King Tiger moving up. My goodness. And the Riflemen need to get out there, otherwise they're going to have to retreat right past it. Artillery getting called in again. I think Piwavsky might be getting a bit optimistic about his chances of the artillery actually functioning his way. They're gonna, my goodness, this squad actually went down to the artillery. And the MG goes down. That's actually quite a devastating artillery strike. Piwavsky has only got a full squad left now. He's very short in infantry. He's got a sniper, which is going to be considerably more alone, and a Pioneer squad went down. Piwavsky, I mean, Niksa has barely got anything left. And what he does have left are the Panzers. Of course, that's not to be underestimated, but at the same time should not be overestimated either, since without infantry support, they are going to be a bit more vulnerable and a bit easier to deal with from certain units. For example, anti-tank guns. But there we go, King Tiger coming under fire. Riflemen and snipers advancing up. Volkswagen here coming under fire. In fact, they're getting called against the hedgerows. And that anti-tanker needs to pull away before a lone unit actually stumbles upon and clears it out. But the Volkswagen here are in trouble. Grenade getting locked at them, and they can't escape. Down to one man. Red seems to be true for the riflemen. Panzer IV's advancing, overmanning the anti-tank gun. There we go. Focusing his armored forces in one spot. Niksa secures dominance against the Amerikanen. That is the way to do it. Just like Guderian would have suggested it, you tighten them together in one force instead of spreading out too far when you're in the offense. And there we go. Moving them forwards as a great armored fist of the Fatherland crushing the Americans. And some pioneers in the far from an anti-tank gun there, and the motor pool is clearly going to go down right there under the intense barrages of the Panzer IV. There goes Sticky Bomb on it, one of them, and we see an off-map combat group providing 2 anti-tank guns and a Greyhound and a Rifleman squad. All those anti-tank guns could definitely turn the tide, perhaps a bit for people. But will it be enough? Of course, there's still the one there. I mean, if Piwavsky was to pull it together, focus it with the other, that would actually constitute a massive problem for Niksa's Panzers. I mean, several of them already in a poor condition. And there's only a Knight's Crossbow to score and some snipers to protect it. Armored characters moving up to do a bit of damage there, flanking. Snipers are moving up. And there we go, the anti-tank guns are now rolling forwards. This one needs to get back. Sniper gets one Knight's Cross holder. And there we go, Panzer IV number 3. Knight's Cross in trouble. King Tiger nearby. Rifleman getting absolutely murdered in the process, though. I mean, the sheer amount of high explosive shells and machine gun fire going in on them was devastating. And it looks like Niksa was able to get one of Piwavsky's snipers. And the riflemen continue to get negative cover. I mean, that really makes it easy for the Panzers. And there we go. Looks like a best 2 rifle squad could go down in a most... Oh, there! The retreating rifleman spotted the German sniper. Killing him. Oh, no. And now we do see the 3 anti-tanks moving forwards like a wall. of death. And there we go, one anti-tank and down. Although I'm not actually sure if the Americans actually practiced this tactics, which wasn't actually a tactic used by the Germans and actually adopted by the Soviets. Basically, again, a wall of anti-tank guns under the coordination of one commander, and then basically focusing down so easily that way, destroying targets. And it was actually quite devastating on any advancing armor. Just notice the King Tiger is just taking insane amounts of damage. And here's the thing. Anti-tank guns with armor-piercing rounds on can actually do more damage than a King Tiger. And there we go. The Panzer IVs are pulling back. Niederwerfer on the way to try and blast out the Americans. Definitely going to be needed. We're seeing a bunker up here, but that's definitely also going to go down. The anti-tank is now turning to the duty of bunker busters. I do believe some other measures were actually used more generally. I believe, in fact, some armies actually used captured Panzerfaust for clearing out bunkers. And there we go, though. Piwavsky, having the advantage, does not stop short of actually trying to push it. He's advancing quickly and swiftly. He knows he has to keep up the pressure at Niksa. He knows he has to push him back. He needs to make Niksa pay for every inch. And then we've got another Panzer IV bruise up, going up like a bunch of stuff going on fire. And the anti-tank gun still pointing the wrong direction as an armoured car advances. There we go, that the crew finally realises what's going on. The schnapps-induced grogginess subsides and they quickly get out of there. And the Greyhound actually moves in. I think he might be trying to call in artillery straight on the German base. There we go, on the Panzer IV. Outer battery going in. Oh, Pioneer's dead! An Ostwind on the way, in fact, now from Niksa, the Ostwind Flakpanzer. Die Wind der Ost. Something like that. And look, oh, the Knight's Cross actually got the anti-tank gun crew. It tried to escape again. I think Piwavsky should have pulled it together with the others. But now, I mean, Niksa has suddenly suffered huge losses. He's lost several of his panzers. He's lost quite a bit of his infantry. He's lost his sniper. He's lost his MGs. He's barely got anything left. And now, of course, it's the time for Piwavsky to strike with off-map combat groups. He just needs to throw in as much as possible into the crucible of war. He cannot afford to stop Piwavsky. Forwards in the name of passion, Uncle Sam, liberty, something, I don't know. Possibly apple pie, if you like that, Piwavsky. Just advance. Had you been playing Commonwealth, all I'd need to say is King George, and of course you'd advance on your own, but you're not. Niederwerfer rockets, though, going in, absolutely pinning the riflemen. Quite nicely there. Looks like Piwavsky's actually playing cautious now due to the Niederwerfer. And looks like we are seeing Niksa quickly going for the swift advance. 25 victory points left, though, for Piwavsky. Thinks it's only getting dangerous. King Tiger here could get sticky bombed, and it does. It gets sticky bombed. Snipers opening up here on the Volkers, trying to get that victory point. And veterancy for the Ostwind moves forwards, shearing through the riflemen. And looks like the Panzer IV has finally been repaired.
I hunt alone.
And tonight's crossholders are waiting for the fight. Any attempt not reaching the victory point in the center is a bit of a deadlocked situation. On one side there's anti-tank and snipers, on the other side there's an Ostwind. Pretty much tearing through the infantry due to his veterans with 3 stages, which actually makes it more accurate. But now we do see the anti-tankers advancing. And sticky bomb on the King Tiger. Panzer IV heroically advances. Niederwerfer fire up, but the Panzer IV is taking intense fire, already down to half health. Very dangerous game. We see the Niederwerfers actually advance up a bit too far. I mean, this... No! The snipers actually take damage. Sniper went down to the Niederwerfer rockets. burning up, his screams being the sound of music to the Germans. Generally, though, the death of a sniper is always a happy occasion for the opponent. Grenades getting knocked at the Knights Cross holders, though not quite fully successful, still does quite a bit of damage. German infantry pushes back, and now we do see that Piwavsky has absolutely nothing to support his anti-tank guns with, and Piwavsky spent resources for another sniper instead of getting an off-map combat group, thus ensuring he does not have volume to back this all up with. Firestorm going in on the anti-tank guns now, threatening to clear out the crews with fire, with righteous German fire, and there we go, one anti-tank gun already dead. Jostwind holding up there. 21 victory points left for Piwavsky. Things are getting tense. Both players are worn out, their forces battered and beaten. But both players are holding on. Both players refuses to back down in favor of the other. This is a fight to the death. And this anti-tank gun, my God. One shot, I mean, even a sniffle could wreck this thing. And there we go, anti-tank gun's firing away, but misses. Oh, my. That was actually quite lucky there. That could actually have blown it up. Hit misses again. Larry. Do you need glasses? And another anti-tank gun goes down. The need for proves quite useful in removing American anti-tank gun positions, proving the salvation of Niksa. Although, I mean, he could have considered Stukas of Foods as well. You know, just saying.
We've taken out a Nebelwerfer.
And the Nebelwerfer finally bites the dust.
What are my coordinates?
German armor holding on as best as it can, but it is not in a solid condition.
Yeah, sniper reporting.
15 victory points left for Piwavsky. Anti-tank is advancing. They will open up on the Ostwind, and it goes down. The Ostwind probably shouldn't have been there. I mean, it's quite... has a bit lower health. In fact, it has about the same health as a Stug, but considerably less armor. So it is, in fact, an easier target. So that quickly went down now. There's only the King Tiger and the Panzer IV and some Knights Cross holders left. Oh, well, there's the Volksgrenadiers now equipped with MP40s. Congrats, Soldaten, you are now stormtroopers. But... we have no grenades. Just imagine you have some, and you will win over everything.
Ready. What are my coordinates?
They're taking one of our points. The enemy is down to 300 points.
And a bit of quiet again, the sort of stalemate situation. Artillery going in against the Volksgrenadiers, I wager. Oh, the first strike just strikes them out like the vengeance of God. And a Hellcat arrives, mortar rifle and an anti-tank gun. Another Ostwind rolls out for Niksa. Interesting enough, I mean, there's no attempt from Piwavsky to say sneak someone up here to take that victory point. And again, perhaps Piwavsky does not feel confident enough to do that. I think he should be careful about advancing the Hellcat too far. He might also want to spread out those anti-tankers a bit more. But there's a mortar now. A mortar. And the Pioneers here coming under fire from the Hellcat. 50 caliber roaring. Killing Pioneers indiscriminately. And another Knights Cross soldier squad. Forces slowly advancing again. No attempt at rushing straight towards the victory point. Perhaps even throwing Niksa a bit off his trail. But certainly, I mean, Piwavsky has once more gained map control. For the larger part, he's gaining most munitions, most fuel, most anything. But he cannot afford a single mistake right now. I mean, he's got 10 points left.
Order, here. Squad, reinforce. Take kill fire.
On the other hand, Niksa can afford a few more mistakes if it comes down to it, although in a sense he should all still be careful, since he doesn't have that many units left and certainly is a bit vulnerable in some regards. But I mean, clearly Niksa is preparing. He's setting up his best infantry, so Ritterkreuzträger setting up in the center, King Tiger on the flank, Pioneers. What few panzers he can muster. Well, the Nebelwerfer might do well here. Again. And the King Tiger largely repaired except for the engine, which for some reason has not been put out. There's the engine fire.
Enemy unit down.
And the Pioneers quickly go down. Hellcat moves forward. And there we go. The Ostwind quickly detailed to clear up the riflemen in the right. And there we go. The advance goes in. The Knight's Cross leads the way. Artillery going down on the victory point. Panzer IV taking terrible fire. Knight's Cross, though, continue for everything. Their targets are the anti-tank guns. King Tiger nearby, and there we go. One anti-tank gun is down. The Knight's Cross, though, another target inside. There we go. The snipers are gone. Leaving behind the anti-tank guns quite defenseless. Only a single rifleman squad. Panzer IV is gone. Pioneers are gone, but the Knight's Cross continue fighting. Their assault rifles do not stop firing. This is quite the making moment here for Piwavsky. Will he hold or will he fall? And now there's only the King Tiger. There's a few anti-tank guns. If we only had a fire stop. There we go. Ostwind moving in. Could try and barge for everything. Clear out the anti-tank guns. Or could even just try and move up on the flank and sort it out. The Hellcat, by the way, is gone. And another Needwerfer has arrived. Quickly pushed forwards to the front line. And there we go. The advance moves in. There we go, anti-tank gun cleared up. The anti-tank guns can't cover each other. The other ones are too focused towards other angles. And there we go. Piwavsky's anti-tank defenses are falling apart. And the Ostwind is out of control. And, oh, finally went down. King Tiger getting blasted. Another push, and we're now seeing Grenadiers being thrown into the fight as well. Everything must be sent forwards. It's clearly the thinking of Niksa. Definitely going to be tense. He could risk losing the King Tiger, in which case he might be completely buggered. And we're seeing again Piwavsky going up here, and there's no Ostwinds to save him now.
Engineer unit lost.
Engineer unit actually went down. Grenadiers advancing. Should be careful. There we go. Snipers firing away. King Tiger exposing the rear. It's out of control, but nonetheless the victory points fall into their hands. Points are ticking down. And, oh, no, Piwavsky, what are you doing? At the same time, a plucky squad of Knight's Cross have moved all the way down south, going for the other victory point. And that is pretty much the end for Piwavsky. He made the wrong choice. He should not have gone for the fuel, but the victory point. No matter what now, he's pretty much in trouble. And game over. So close, Piwavsky. So close. Had you just gone for the victory point instead of the fuel point, you would have won. But no. Your desire to harass fuel rather than victory points was too ingrained, and you could not overcome that Pavlovian response, apparently. But very tense fight. Very close. I mean, Piwavsky could have won this had he made some slight, different choices. Again, perhaps focusing less on dual snipers in the later fight, but also, going for the victory point instead of the fuel point. That might have secured him victory. That might have allowed him to hold on. But no, Piwavsky instead chose wrongly. Like the bad guy in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, he chose poorly. But then, tense fight, lots of armor getting lost, lots of anti-tank guns, lots of men dying. We saw some really nice maneuvering. The problem was partly for Niksa here by the end game, and which could have again had Piwavsky chosen correctly, and which partly lost him was again the frontal assault on the anti-tank guns rather than setting up some flanking assaults to clear them up, perhaps using the Ostwind there. That would actually have paid him off a bit better, and again some more Needwerfers or Stukas of Fuss. Partly also again, he went for the right hand side first of the terror doctrine, but he never used the firestorm. So again, that was some odd choices right there from Niksa. He could also benefit from medic bunker, perhaps slightly from some MG for the Grenadiers. And again, he shouldn't have been charging in Grenadiers after snipers, in particular not with that level of veterancy. That just seemed quite frankly a pointless and weird move from Niksa. But definitely, good play from both sides. Again, I think for Piwavsky the problem came down to partly again bit too many snipers at the later stages of the game, not enough off-map combat groups or something else. Had he, also perhaps gone for a tank depot instead of the motor pool, I think things would look very differently, and perhaps much better for Piwavsky. But I mean, he fought on to the bitter end, fought on bravely, and he was very close to winning this. But again, he chose poorly. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. Even if you enjoyed it, feedback is always, welcome. What did you like, And otherwise, if you didn't, again, send in the replay. But, feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Links are in the description. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.